Welcome to this class on the topic of leadership. As you can see from the slide in front of you, there is quite a bit of writing, quite a bit of material on this slide. And in fact, as we work through the class, you will see that all the slides have got quite a bit of information. It's strongly recommended, therefore, that you stop the video from time to time and make a note of what's on the screen, and perhaps show the video in full screen mode. This will help you. You can rewind it then and listen to the commentary again, and hopefully everything will make more sense. So to start, we're dealing here with leadership, and early theories on entrepreneurship were provided by economists, the most famous being Schumpeter in his theory of economic development in 1934. But in fact there were many writers in this area. Schumpeter focused on innovation as a stimulus for what he called creative destruction, which destroyed economic equilibrium. In economics, markets are viewed as heading towards equilibrium, moving towards equilibrium, towards balance, where supply equals demand. And there are automatic forces in the market economy leading markets to that sort of balance, which we call equilibrium. Well, Schumpeter believed that entrepreneurs are constantly introducing new products and new ways of doing things, and in so doing they were making some products redundant or obsolete, and also some processes. So some sort of manufacturing process, for example, may no longer be required because the product is no longer required. And this is what he called creative destruction. It was destroying the market equilibrium for the old products. The old products were being phased out and new products were coming in with new market conditions. Schumpeter described what he called the heroic entrepreneur, the single individual who brings about revolutionary change to his or her industry. In leadership terms, after all we're dealing here with leadership, in leadership terms this translates to the person who has the ability to influence others and lead them to successfully bring about a vision. So there is a linkage here between the leader and the entrepreneur. The leader is trying to bring about a vision, and the entrepreneur is trying to bring about a vision of the introduction of a new product, the introduction of a new way of doing things. So, I did say all the slides had a lot of information, so just stop the slide at any time and make some notes. Now on this slide we're going to talk about the qualities or traits approach. I'll just put the cursor onto the screen so you can see here I'm only dealing with this paragraph here. It assumes that leaders are born, not made. So the traits approach assumes that leaders are born and not made. Leaders consist of certain inherited characteristics or personality traits. It focuses attention on the person in the job and not on the job itself. So we're here looking for the characteristics or personality traits that leads to leadership. The functional or group approach, well, this approach to leadership, attention is focused on the functions and responsibilities of leadership, what the leader actually does, and the nature of the group. This assumes that leadership skills can be learned and developed. So now we have two views here. We have the traits view, which is talked about in the previous slide, and the functional or group approach. Next we have leadership as a behavioral category. The kinds of behavior of people in leadership positions and the influence on group behavior. This draws attention to a range of possible managerial behavior and the importance of the leadership style. It's emphasizing the importance of leadership within the context of the business. It draws attention to a range of possible managerial behavioral types and the importance of that style. So again, a different perspective on leadership. The styles of leadership, well, it's the way in which functions of the leader are carried out and the behaviour adopted by managers towards subordinate staff. It's concerned with the effects of leadership on those being led. So, in previous videos was discussed what good leadership is, or the characteristics that good leadership should display. And this is part of what we've got here. It's concerned with the effects of leadership on those being led. How does the leadership come across? The situational approach and contingency models. The importance of the situation, interactions between the variables involved in the leadership situation and patterns of behaviour. Belief that there is no single style of leadership appropriate in all situations. So we don't have one leader who is there in perpetuity, there forever and ever, leading. We have leaders in specific areas, a leader in the department, a leader on that particular project, a leader for the organisation, a leader for the division. So different leaders doing different jobs and leading, if you like, in different ways. And the last one here is the transformational leader, a process of engendering motivation and commitment, creating a vision for transforming the performance of the organisation and appealing to the higher ideals and values of followers. So the transformational leader is involved in motivation and commitment and creating the vision for transforming the performance of the organisation. So setting out a vision, motivating, and getting commitment. So there are different types of leader and different approaches to leadership. At the very top of the slide it says framework for study of managerial leadership. And those are different types of framework. Now let's look at some definitions of leadership. No need to go through all of these in great detail. As I said, you can stop the video and make a note of them. But leadership is the behaviour of an individual directing the activities of a group towards a shared goal. Number 2, the influential increment over and above mechanical compliance with the routine directives of the organisation, and so on and so on. So different definitions, quite straightforward to look at. So it's worthwhile making a note of these and pondering exactly what is meant by each definition. For example, I don't know, take definition 6. Leadership is the ability to step outside the culture to start evolutionary change processes that are more adaptive. Step outside the culture. Well, the culture may be to do something in a certain way. To be a leader may be to step outside of that and to question it and perhaps set up a different process, a different routine that perhaps goes in a slightly different direction. So it's evolutionary, change the organisation and adapt the organisation to the changing needs within the market. So as I said, some more definitions. Just make a note of these and look over them and see what's the likely meaning. You will find as you read across these that Similar ideas crop up in many of them. Motivate, communicate. These words are prevalent throughout many of the definitions. So clearly these are important words. So some treat leadership as both a specialized role and a social process. Leadership is the process of influencing others to understand and agree about what the needs to be done and how it can be done effectively, and the process of facilitating individual and collective efforts to accomplish the shared objectives. Nice definition. But again, it's a definition. This slide may look intimidating, but this is the Vecchi's leadership skills. And in the left-hand column, I'll put the cursor on the screen, in the left-hand column here, we've got a list of skills, and in the right, just what's meant by them. So we can go fairly fast. The first one is tenacity, the capacity for sticking to difficult to achieve tasks, the capacity to stick in there. So the leadership has got this capacity to see something through. Stamina, the ability to stick at a job when occasional career slowdowns take place. So it's the stamina to stay with the organization even when things are going not too well. Long-term wisdom, the ability to forecast the future of the industry, if that's possible, the development of one's colleagues and the probabilities of success of strategies. It's trying to, witchcraft really, trying to see the future and trying to anticipate what's likely to happen and cover the eventualities that are reasonably possible to predict. Obviously you can't predict everything, and the world is ever changing. Emotional intelligence, having a range of insights which explain personal motivations of people around you. So it's having a good read on people. That's how leaders come about. It's knowing that people will follow certain directions, will follow in certain ways, and being able to communicate that, of course. It's having judgment about priorities as well. It's being able to say we should focus on this and not on that. It's concentrating the effort. So it's leaving out what is not necessary. Equanimity, the capacity to remain calm in the eye of the storm, the capacity to remain calm. When things go wrong, the leader doesn't get panicked, so that those around him or her can see that the leader is calm, and therefore inspires them even further. Having character, having values and beliefs that are sound and which guide you in all key decision points, guide the leader in all key decision points. Having strong beliefs, good beliefs that fit the organization and fit the task, so that again it's obvious to the people who follow that these are the character or the character qualities of the leader, and they inspire them to follow. And that's it. It's the capacity to inspire fellowship. Do people enjoy being led by you if you are the leader? Do they want to be led by this person or that person? How do they decide? What are the qualities? And is it a good experience for them? The last one may sound a little odd. Love for fellow human beings, but the leader must have some relationship with the followers. must have some sort of feeling for them, in the sense that they can relate to the task in hand and recognize that they are dealing here with human beings who have all the foibles and have all the drawbacks and weaknesses of human beings. And the leader is able to integrate that into the calculations and integrate that into what he or she is trying to do. As I said, those slides have got quite a lot of information, so it's best to stop the video periodically and view the whole presentation in full screen. Okay, let's move on. Now the key traits of a leader, according to Levesque. Well, it's the ability to get into leadership positions. That's a trait of the leader. Must be. If they haven't got the ability to get into leadership positions, then it's reasonable to assume they would not be the leader. Better quality judgment than other people, so they're able to make better calls, have a better feeling for what is required, and are able to communicate that. They have a capacity for survival. When they're criticized, they can take the criticism, sometimes referred to as a thick skin. So they can take criticism and feel okay about it. I mean, it may hurt on the inside, but on the outside, they're able to deal with this. So they have a capacity to survive, especially when things are going wrong. They have an ability also to select effective subordinates. They have an ability to select effective workers. They know what they're looking for, and the recruitment policy will be orientated towards the workers who fit the model that's in the mind of the leader. The ability to inspire ordinary people to perform above par. This is the capacity to motivate and to inspire ordinary people to put in a big effort. And it's only the leader who can communicate that and give example and communicate it effectively, get the message across so that everyone within the team is pulling in the same direction and making a good effort. So the leader is making a profound and enduring difference to the organization. The leader is the one who's almost directing the whole flow of the organization. And as I said a while back, we have to view that there are various types of leaders right throughout the organization, departmental, divisional, and so on. We're here talking about perhaps the leader that's most important, the one close to the top, who everyone is following. The leader must have a deep sense of decency, must relate to the workers, and they must feel confident with the way they're being treated. Again, a lot of detail here on the screen, so it may be worth freezing it and having a look at this in more detail. But for the moment, some leadership styles and their descriptions. Well, we have egocentric, self-centered, dominant type of style, so that the leader could be looking in on him or herself and putting him or herself at the center as the most important and want to run the empire. The second one, put the cursor on the screen, the second one here, autocratic. Don't really negotiate. Don't negotiate. Don't discuss. Autocratic is doing it by diktat, by sending out orders, not consulting. We have superior egalitarian. These are participative, but not always given the impression of knowing the answers, making making people feel superior and worthy. So it's a type of leadership where they consult the team and make the team feel that they are solving the problem. The leader may actually feed out the necessary information and the necessary direction and cajole or coax the team to follow in a particular way. But the team feel that they are making a big contribution. They might be conflictual. Sometimes leaders can use conflict and anger and that sort of thing to inspire, rennie people to success. Tell them they can't do it, so that they will do it to prove him wrong or to prove her wrong. Not a good tactic, but can be used. Team building, developing teams and trying to motivate within the team. And teams can have little groupings within the team, and there may be competition within the team or jealousy or rivalry between the team, which will also or could be used to inspire them to even greater things, greater contributions. Strategic, always communicating the vision and the paths forward. Focused and uncomplicated. Looking for the big picture all the time and communicating the big picture. Trying to inspire the workers by saying, this is the future, this is where we're going, and everyone will benefit if we can get there, and encouraging people along by showing them the strategic importance of what they're doing. The people person. An extraordinary person who appears on the surface to be an ordinary, yet make everybody feel extraordinary. The people person. Somebody who is actually very talented as a leader, but who appears one of the lads, who appears an ordinary everyday person. And they follow the person, they have a close relationship with him or her. They can speak openly and freely and joke and be friends, and the person at the same time is getting the most out of them through this characteristic, through this style of leadership. The politician, always balancing and manipulating the stakeholders to keep the power nexus balanced and controlled at the centre. The politician is the leader who's trying to make sure that everybody's happy and make sure that there are no exceptional demands from different people on the organisation to try and upset the balance. Finally, comparison between leadership styles and the business situation. The next slide is going to frighten you perhaps. As said, stop the video, make notes, and think about what's on the screen. So this is the types. I'll go back to the heading again. Comparison between leadership styles and business situation. So styles are down here. Different set of styles, different names, but essentially it's what we've had. And we have best situation, worst situation, and comments. So we have a charismatic leader, moments of great strategic leaps forward. Worst situation, doesn't like steady state when quality succession planning is preferable. Charismatic leaders like situations changing rapidly and profoundly so that they can lead by it's almost like showing off, so that they can be seen to be the ones who are handling the situation and can inspire the workers to follow them. Superior intelligence, well, there's other characteristics. Autocratic, shepherd, one we haven't, the word we haven't used. Excellent in a steady state business. Can panic in situations where when fast reactions required. Shepherds are used to routine. They don't like things changing. So like to move along in steady states. Army general, great when preparing for war, but not necessarily great in the heat of battle. The army general is good at trying to work out tactics, but not very good in implementing, in doing. So the overall vision or strategy can be worked out here, but running the business and the departments and the production systems and so on, the various departments, not great at doing that. Princely leader, somebody who's been the leader for a long time and has got a reputation, perhaps with leading brands. Not great at dealing with mass markets and not great at dealing with perhaps markets where there is a lot of customer contact. They like to be a bit aloof, a bit above it all. Nature's native, good in most circumstances, especially well branded global businesses. Worst situation is organizations which are heavily sales led. They tend to like organizations that are in production, running along, producing some good brand. They can identify with the brand and they market the brand. But if excessive marketing or excessive market strategies have to be deployed, they're not that particularly that good. So these are different styles again, related to the previous set of slides that we just looked at, but perhaps just different words. And again, it's worth making a note of these and stopping the video, just writing it all down. As I said, there's a lot of information in terms of words in this class, but that's where we've got to. Okay, so that's about it for this class. So thank you for watching.